got it.
Yeah. I'm set. 50,000 on my head is disrespect. So offended that I had to double check.
You hated it?
What? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Adulting.
The podcast.
Y'all never get it fucking right. I'm over it. Over it.
I'm sorry, what?
Lisa.
No,
Don't start. I'm Lisa.
I'm Duran.
Okay.
And I'm
I forgot I was
Dante.
here.
You forgot you were here.
Yeah,
It's
I
been
did.
a really long Memorial Day fucking weekend so far.
Second day.
Okay, a day. It's not, it hasn't even been a day. But I want to go ahead and welcome our special guest up in the building. We got Kwaku.
What up, though?
And we got you.
What's up?
Did you like that? It was fun.
Everybody came in with their sexy voice.
Everybody came with their sexy voice. Sorry, man, ahead of time, man. My voice is fucking gone. I'm over it. We gotta fix it. I need some honey in there.
Last night was great.
Last night was great.
What
What y'all do this weekend? Okay. Well, so it was, what is this? It was movement. I was about to call it dump, but it's no longer dump.
It's not dumb. It's movement.
Definitely
It was
movement.
movement
No.
in Detroit,
Yeah.
the newest tourist attraction / festival for some reason. So yeah, I don't even know what natives do here anymore. Like when it comes to this.
They go to Soul Skate.
What's Soul Skate?
What were
Soul-
you with
yeah,
last
That's
night?
where I was last night. Yeah.
I felt like everybody was at TV Lounge. What's Soul Skate?
So Soul Skate is an event that happens once every 2 years at Northland. Skaters from around the country and the world come to Detroit to skate at Northland on this particular night. They had Ronald Isley there singing.
Okay, so-
Live?
So
Live.
basically,
What?
it's one event that
Live.
pays for Northland to be open for another year.
Another year.
Okay.
Because you know how much it costs to get into Northland? Like $5.
Yes.
It costs $20 this evening.
And you can see that they haven't updated in years.
No,
So,
but it's
yeah.
okay. I'm not mad.
They had
It's
Ron
good.
Isley though.
They had Ron Isley.
Can you tell me how Ron Isley was? Were you there for
He
Ron?
was fantastic. I didn't know that he was coming.
How old is Ron Isley now?
87 maybe.
I mean, you know, dust is dust. But my thing is,
Wow.
Ron was
Did he
great.
dye his hair black?
You know, it's kind of like a sandy brown. We're not gonna go there.
So since we
He
are
was great.
talking about and
He was
parties
great.
and life, we do have a couple of, I hate to call y'all party promoters. What would you guys call yourselves? What would y'all call yourselves?
Oh.
Like,
I'm
y'all are not party promoters. in my
Entrepreneurs.
eyes, but it's generalized. Like, that's just a general name.
Entrepreneurs.
Tastemakers. Say it.
Oh,
Tastemakers.
Tastemakers.
I like that.
You like that?
I like
Thank you,
that.
Charlie.
I like
Thank you.
that.
Also, we got Charlie and Bria up in the building.
What's
Hey,
that?
Okay. So Tastemakers. We got Tastemakers, Kwaku and Chi here.
Say that.
I want to know how it feels, like, when you guys first did your first event. Like, when you first threw your first event, how did you go about pushing that event? How did you go about using your network?
I think my first event was at Wayne State at the Grand Ballroom, and I couldn't actually throw the party because I wasn't in the student board.
Was it
So-
before or after the remod of the?
That was before the reminder.
Oh.
Definitely.
Those are fun.
Those used to be
Definitely, because I think they created more space when they remodeled. Because when I did it, it can only fit about 500 people, more so. And now I think it can fit like 1,000 people now. But like I did it through the signals, 5-day signals.
Volume?
Okay.
So when I did that, they were like, they were always cool. So I just had to go through them to get the space, and also like collab with them, which is like give them half of my profits. So
How was that though? Like, were they, when y'all discussed that, how did you feel about
me
the money?
personally, I didn't really care about the money.
I see.
I was basically just trying to see what type of juice I had, how many people I could bring out, because that's when you start understanding the type of the type of person you are. Like, you know, do people actually rock with you just for you? Do people rock with you because of your status or whatever the case may be? And you gotta understand, Instagram was still like fresh out, not that fresh, but like it wasn't like.
So it wasn't catalyst.
It wasn't sponsored, no sponsored events. You couldn't pay for promotion, all that stuff. So it's like you couldn't even buy followers, you know, if you wanted to, you know. So like with that, yeah. But I feel like everything was door to door. You had to go door to door with yours. Like, you know, you had to go to dorms. You had to slide the flyers into people's doors and stuff like that. Just you had to do whatever you had to do for people to understand what event was coming up. And the hardest thing about that event was my first event was around finals. So that is very hard to pull off, you know. But the good thing is it was on campus, so you know people could just walk over and come. So that was my first event, and I feel like I had like 400 some people there, and that was
so you
cool.
basically almost knocked that bitch out. So
But
that's
that's
500, right?
but what I had to understand also was that just by doing it with the signals, like most of the crowd wasn't mine. So I had to understand, okay, you did your first one, that was cool. You have more work to do. Can you do it by yourself?
Can you do it by yourself? Can you do it by yourself? How about you, Quickly?
So I'm a little newer to that space, to the event space. I did my first event last year with Detroit Black Restaurant Week, and so that was a bit different of a concept because what was important is that I had engagement with the different restaurants, but it wasn't so much that I was getting like a literal head count of how many people participated, just because they were coming from so many different channels. So I think it went really well. And then I finally got into more of like an isolated event space with like Put Your Mama Where Your Mouth Is last December, and then doing it again in April. It went really well. And yeah, I think that it kind of showed me, similar to what she was saying, is that, you know, with the second one, I worked with Jerk and Joe off, and I kind of had to make sure that I paid attention to who actually attended, because that would tell me who was there for me and who was there for J&J, you know? And so I can't deny that Jerk Off, because they've been around longer and they actually have captivated an audience, that they definitely contributed quite a bit to the success of the event. And so I'm kind of on the precipice of finding out what kind of juice I've got with my next event on Father's Day, which is Trill Girl. And I'm throwing that solo L Club Sunday, June 17th, 2 to 8 p.m. It's a grilling competition between dads.
Okay.
So,
because I was about to say, I know you had one coming up, but I didn't. I was telling everybody it was put your daddy where your mouth is and put your father where your mouth is, and it just sounded wild, man. It sounded real wild, no matter how I put it.
Works, daddy, it gets a little pedophilic. I don't know. So we
like
Trill Girl. We went Trill Girl for
like
that.
Trill Girl.
You know.
I like Trill Girl.
So
when it comes to curating your events, what's the through line that you see thus far from your start? From your very first one when you were at the Student Ballroom Center until like from the very first one that you did just this past winter. What is the through line, and like what have you, I would say, biggest takeaway in regards to since the first one to what you would do now?
Where are you at right now, Chico?
I'll say where I'm at right now. I pay attention to people.
No, I mean like where are you at in your events? Like how long have you been doing this? Black tie, you got black tie and heels coming up,
So
right?
my first event, I've been doing events since 2012. So at this point right now, it's a psychological thing for me. I pay attention to people, the way that they respond to things. So when I do events, I try to send out personal invitations rather than group message on Instagram, adding people on, stuff like that.
People like
I try to, everybody want to get a personal invite, and also sometimes I'll give out a lot of free tickets, to somebody that's influential, like I might say, hey, just your friends just have to pay or whatever, and automatically they know it's easy for them to convince their friends to come with them, because there's always a leader of the pack.
Okay, so who you giving free tickets to though?
I'm
saying like, so when you hand out these, exactly, that's why I'm asking you hand out these free tickets, so who you handing out free tickets?
So basically, it don't even have to do with anything with followers and none of that.
No, it has shit to do with clout.
No,
You don't give
not
a
at
fuck
all.
who comes.
Not at all. I'm looking at because you gotta think about it. Some people have 2,000 followers and they get like 1,500 likes on their pictures. You know, that's real clout to them. You know, they have. It doesn't matter how many followers because this is people that like their pictures that come on their page every day to see what they post that don't follow them. So I look at those things because I've seen. Listen, I've paid people like $4,000, $5,000 to come out and try to pack a club out. They can't even bring out 10 people. So it doesn't matter what the followers don't have nothing to do with that. People actually are dope in real life. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, like when I look at things like that, I try to look at people that actually have real following. Like genuine following. Like people, do you have crowd control? Do you have social media control?
Do you watch them in public? Like,
I do actually watch how people watch all the time.
Okay.
I watch how people behave like in public. I watch how people behave in private. I just watch it all because, like yeah, like you know when we like if we're like a social like gathering or like just like yeah like small.
Like you stand outside somebody's window watching.
Candy, you creep.
I ain't reaching like that. Nah.
Jeez,
So, but it's more so just watching people's characters, see how because that's why I say there's always a leader of the pack. Like when I see people come out, like they've come out to my events before, so like I'll watch. So it might be like 7 girls, like all in the pack. I just know when one be like, oh, that's where we at. Everybody follows. Like you know she's the person that brought everybody out. You know, some people don't even care to be there, but they just know that we're not gonna let my girl go to the event by herself. We're gonna roll with her. Like so I try to pay attention to marketing tools like that. And people always try to depend on like paying for promotion on social media to understand. You have to understand the target. You have to understand who you're trying to reach out to. Because some people just like hit automatic and just think that it's just gonna like promote.
Like the people are just gonna come.
No, I actually try to focus where I want it to go. Like Detroit, the age range. If 21 or 25 and up, whatever the case may be. And also like how many miles away from me, like if you're promoting to people around Birmingham, Royal Oak, or whatever the case may be, if it's that type of crowd that you're trying to tap into, you can do that. If you want to tap into downtown Detroit or your event spaces in downtown Detroit, you understand that you got to promote to Windsor, all that, because it's right across the bridge. So those type of things, yeah, you have to try to promote to people around your discourse. So when I think about things like that, I understand, okay, this is not just, it's past just throwing an event. Like what she said, Tastemakers. It's like it has to be something with substance. Like I heard about his, before I even knew who was behind the Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is, I didn't know it was him. I didn't know it was Kwaku. Like I thought it was just, I was like, man, this event is dope. Like, who put this together? Like, so I was on Facebook going through it, and I'm like, oh, no, I can't. What? That's crazy.
For you to be doing this in just a short period of time, like, it really speaks to who you are in public and how well you work with people.
Because I didn't even know he was back. That was the, I knew like, he was in D.C. and then he was in New York. I didn't know he was back in Detroit. So when I saw, like, when I went on his page and then I was following, like, the trend and seeing, okay, when he said he was back, this is what he's been working on and stuff like that, I understood, like, listen, there's a market for everybody. Everybody, because you see in Detroit, everybody has events the same day, but the building is always packed. Everybody has a market, so that's one thing I had to understand when you say, like, the trend wherever I see myself now is that I understand that it doesn't matter. I've done events with Blacktown Hills coming up. I've had my second one that I did on a Wednesday.
Why Wednesday?
I just like
You
it.
said fuck it. You just wanted to try it?
I just want that's
Did it
also
work?
testing yourself.
It's
Just
a
It's a great day.
just
Shout out
test.
to Wednesday.
Yeah, just test it to see what I'm capable of.
Thursdays.
Like,
Did you
because
win?
you got to think
Those are
actually,
both good days.
actually,
Friday
yes.
Eve.
Actually, I made
Those are both
$11,000
good days.
profit on a Wednesday. But that's the thing that I did that because I looked at it. I was like, how can Drake have a concert on a Tuesday? How can Beyonce have a concert on a Monday? I'm not comparing myself with them, but I'm saying
you
we're
could-
It's the same
all
concept,
human
though.
beings. We're all human beings.
Not only that,
And
too,
people-
I just
huh?
add to that.
What'd you say?
I just want to add to that, like, it leaves less competition in the weekend to do stuff, and it makes also like, oh, there's stuff to do in Detroit all the time.
Yeah,
What?
and that's the key.
Oh, sorry.
You,
So-
My question is, what is the motivation in being a tastemaker? Like, cause, like I like people, I like, you know, but I'm not like, I don't like
It makes you go.
engaging with people on that level, because I don't know, I feel like my space is like sacred, so I just
Same.
want to keep it that way. Like people that are doing something, I want them around me, but it seems to be very far from between, especially in our city. Like everybody has their own little island that they live on, and everybody has their own little events that they do, and then select people go to wherever. How, like, what is the motivation in, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put this on, because is it like I just want to see this in the city, or is it like this is just what I want to do?
Yeah, I think, and this, I can't speak for any other city, but I feel like here, it's purpose driven first, and then it becomes something that will be fun and or entertaining. Like everything that I've worked on since last August has been purpose driven, and that was mainly within the culinary space to see to it that Black restaurant owners or Black chefs were getting the love that they deserved.
Which is amazing.
Well, thank you, but well, that's the thing. So it's like it
It's a
provided
great
both
response
those-
too to all of the new.
New Detroit, New
Mhm.
Detroit, bridging that gap.
Exactly. I mean, it just, I think that it provided a figurative and a literal seat at the table for
Yes.
a lot of people, and that to me was what was important.
A word.
It wasn't just like, oh, this party. Like the party is on the surface, but behind it is what to me is what's most important. What, like, you ask what's driving you. I mean, I ask the same thing. What's driving you? You know, like I ask people when they come to the events, what's driving you? Like, Put Your Mama Where Your Mouth Is was an ode to mothers, right? And so when you showed up, were you like, yeah, there will be twerking involved, but did you realize the importance
The message, yeah.
of actually saying, Mom, thank you?
No, I just want to
Yeah.
say food.
just
Yeah.
to add to that, just to add to that, like that's what I'm saying. Like with that, it's what you want to see in Detroit, you can make it happen by listening to people and taking, like, because every event I do, I try to get a feedback, like, because I'm not opposed to criticism. I try to understand what I didn't do right, or what I should have done, and try to incorporate it in my next one.
But where do you pull from? Like, where do you guys pull from as far as resources? Like, what do you say to that person that says, I ain't got no money, I don't know how to put on this event, I don't know what to do next?
But the thing about it is that sometimes, like, my first event, not my first event, the first Black Town Hills event my budget was only $700. And the event cost me about probably $3,000, but I only had $700 in my pocket as a college student. Like, so with that being said, what I did was I was just going out to like sponsor, like with people with a big budget, like posing my idea, like, you know, my ideas to them, telling them this is what I'm trying to do. I was telling the truth, like I don't have that much money, but this is what I can guarantee you back. I'll give you this money, yeah. So I ended up making about $15,000 of my first event leaving college. So with that being said, I paid everybody back that I borrowed money from, and I still had profit done. So it let me understand that, okay, so it's not even about the money, it's not about the budget that you have, it's about people. When you do something that makes sense, people are always going to rock with it. You know, that's why like his event is always going to do good because it makes sense. Jerk and Jollof is always going to do great because it bridges the gap. It bridges the gap. It helps the culture move forward. So with that making sense, people they'll always come. Like you don't know.
Because I think we're in a space right now where we all really are just trying to get really hold on to old Detroit, and that means sticking to our roots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the funny thing is, we are the next generation in Detroit, so we're all we have.
We're all
so
connected.
we really
We're all connected. Like in LA, they don't even any type of party. They're like they don't print flyers. They don't print flyers. Every party is text, word of mouth. Like they don't do all that. They don't even promote on social media like that. They don't even put the address of the place. But you go there, it's like 700 people there. How y'all know where the stuff, where the stuff at? Like, you know,
It's a wave.
it's a wave. They're all connected. And the thing about it is that the people that are not supposed to be there will never be there. Everybody's connected, which is the right people. The right people.
I can't say that Detroit is there yet, right?
Oh, yeah.
I can't say Detroit. I definitely could not simply rely on text exchange to promote my event. We're just not there yet, unfortunately. I'm hoping that soon it'll be the case. Not
How
so
do we
much
get
for the
there?
But no, but I'm
Well-
saying like with the wave, with what you're doing right now, with
Right.
the energy that the space that we're in mentally, I feel like we're getting there. Cause I just thought about it. Sam Austin, like no radio interview, no type of like promotion,
Nothing, he just-
nothing, and that boy had 600 people plus at a concert, and this rappers can't even pack 250 people at a concert.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're getting there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We just have to keep that same energy.
Yeah, because we're
Yeah.
getting next.
Yeah, we're next because it's gonna get to a point where you're gonna do your event. You're just gonna post a flyer and leave.
And it'll be that.
And it kind of is just that.
That-
I've been to Quaku's page so many times, and it'll be one flyer. It'll be one fucking flyer, y'all.
And that's
it.
That's another. So social media is very unnatural for me.
Isn't it?
I don't like the feeling of trying to sell myself.
Yeah.
You know, and so I kind of feel like my personal page and like my Black Metro Eats page, very different. And I've been trying to make Black Metro Eats not as posy. Because I don't like
I'm a proof in the pudding.
flyer,
I'm
lots of
like
words.
show you anything.
Yeah. So that has been a thing, but I think that I would agree. I think we're on our way to that destination. I just
So you guys know each other, right?
Yeah. Well, so we went to high school together.
Y'all went to high school.
Yeah.
What high school y'all went
Southfield Lathrop.
Everybody.
We all felt it.
Yeah.
We all felt it.
I mean, it really
We all felt it.
Yeah, I was like,
You know what? Y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
Y'all doing a
Thank you.
great job.
I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of prominent people in the city have gone to Southfield Lathrop. Richest man in the state, Dan Gilbert, went to Southfield
Well,
Lathrop
Dan
High
Gilbert's also a
School.
criminal, so.
Look,
But hey, he owns the city, right?
You like
Facts.
You like LeBron James?
You
LeBron
know
James.
what I'm saying? We have a lot of friends who are criminals and we still support them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right.
We're gonna need to cut your check for that.
I want to take it back to it seems like there's multiple ways, right? Everybody is doing their thing. I feel like we are in a renaissance era of Detroit, and I'm very, very, very proud of that. But what I want to see, like you said, is for you just to put out a flyer and everybody come support your event. But for that to happen, everybody has to support each other.
Exactly.
So how do we get everyone on these separate islands in Detroit? Because Detroit is not that big, but it seems like everybody is so miles away.
Everybody can't
I
come.
feel like that's changing.
Why are we hating?
No, I feel like it can, because I feel like nobody is, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's wave is better or whatever. Everybody's just on their own trajectory.
I came down to a point that everybody cannot come. Because you gotta understand, that's just the way life is built. There's up, there's down, there's right, there's left. Everything has an inverse. You know, so it's like where there's supporters, they're like people that just don't rock with it. You know, but the point is, the people that need to be there will always be there.
I mean, absolutely, but I feel like then that creates a underground community.
But it is.
When there's nothing underground about anybody in this room. So,
but that's the point. When you choose not to be underground, you're just gonna climb upstairs.
Nobody chooses to be underground.
I mean,
That's
exactly.
a reaction.
So how do we get everybody? How do we bridge the gap from the mainstream of Detroit, which is the gentrification that's happening every day, every new restaurant, every new thing that we do?
Is that the goal? I think that's a question that's worth answering.
Yeah.
Is that the goal?
Is that the goal to really implement yourself in New Detroit?
Not implement, but at least
No,
You're
not.
be seen, be noticed.
I just want
putting your
to-
foot down, putting your foot in it.
I don't necessarily want to implement anything. I just want to weather the storm. more
Right,
so
that's
than the
fair.
idea. Like I want for the dust to settle and for me to still be standing.
Exactly.
And by that I am naturally a part of New Detroit because now we have arrived and look, I'm here too. You know, like that. Like
Right.
to me, that is what I'm aiming to do.
Because right now we're at the point where like if they don't see you at the table, we pull another chair and stand on the chair.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But that's exactly what I mean. How you said creating the seat at the table. It's not about pulling up a seat or being allowed to come in. It's actually like making that impact. So how do we? I feel like the impact would be greater if everybody was on the same way. Because then there will be no disputation about.
I guess to answer your question, I think that the best way that we can do it is with everybody just like with the people that are active right now doing events like the Tastemakers coming together and actually creating like something like coming together, putting on an event, you know, and just seeing from everybody bringing their crowd and bridging that gap.
Joining forces.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel like that would be the best way.
Pangea. That's what we
I
call
feel
it.
Can I ask you a
The
question?
Warriors, the movie.
I want to ask you a question because I know a little bit more about your history.
I love
than
that
I do
image. Oh my god.
play coups. So, Stewie
Yeah.
is also a party.
A tastemaker.
Because he's more than a promoter.
No,
Yeah,
he,
he's
he
way
really
more.
is.
He is.
I
Now.
hate to do it like
So
that,
happy
but
for
yes, he is also.
Because there are promoters.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
But did you feel any type of way of like? I mean, you came after. You were through events after.
Mhm.
Did you? And with you guys being so close, did you feel like there was a competition? Did you feel like? Because I feel like you guys always had the same network of friends, I suppose.
Angie in the
In a way,
day.
you know what I mean? So did you feel like at a certain point it was competition?
No, it was never well, I'll say this. I'll say what people don't say. Like when we had like let's say if we had a party or event the same day, whatever, I feel it's competition. But it's a friendly competition. Because I'm like, hey, like cuz you got to think about it. When Kendrick made that song Control, it's like I'm trying to make sure none of your people listen to you, you know, kind of thing. We have the same friends. I'm trying to make sure our friends come to my shit first, you know? But it's not on some like, you know, it's not on some like hey, it's just cool. Like on some like I'm trying to work too. I'm trying to like, you know, I'm trying to like make sure my event slaps, you know.
Y'all ever sit down and like talk?
Yeah, we always talk all the time. Like more so, like, cause I'm the type of person I bring to you though. Like I'd be like, listen, either I'm planning on doing this, and I see you doing this. You know what? I'll probably shift my event so that way I can support you, and then return the favor. And that's how I always put it. You know, but we've never really. It's probably only happened like once or twice where we had this, where we're doing an event the same day or like the same week or whatever the case may be. But me, like I said, I pay attention to everybody. I try to see like if he's having an event, I move my day because the point we're pushing for the same goal. So it's not a sense of I don't want to separate the crowd. I don't like. That's why sometimes I pick a Wednesday. Like she was saying, I pick a Wednesday because I don't want to compete with none of my hustle mates. You know. So I'll pick a Wednesday. I'll try to make everybody come on that Wednesday. I see who supports and who don't, and that way it's for you. Like, cause people they're so fast to be like, hey, you know, I was trying to make it. I couldn't make it. You know, I have my event that day. Blah blah blah. But I'll make it a day where nobody has anything going on. Like you don't have an event that day, but I'll still what's your excuse? I still come out, but I just don't be paying attention to stuff like that. But I just like know. From the pictures, that's how I find out who comes and like from people I see at the event. Cause I always try to send thank you notes and stuff like that, like thank you messages, like hey, I appreciate you coming through. I can't get to everybody, but the people that I do remember, I always send thank you because thank you goes a long way for people. You know, cause they want to feel appreciated. The same way you send a personal text, the same way you can follow up and be like, hey, thanks for coming out.
I've been dabbling a lot in my head about this idea of escapism. And I feel like the difference in all of the events that we go to, all of the art that we like to consume and even create has to do with this unified sense of like how like life is a little bit drab, you know what I mean? So when you curate your event, and you know, like obviously, well, for me as an audience member, I feel like yours is too educate at its root, but then you pile on all of these other facets that make it into this precious diamond, and so like for you, Chi, what are performance or is there open bar? You know what I mean? Like, is there charity
So
contribution?
I don't just do like party events like, you know, like social like like I guess, like
I'm sure you don't do just turn up
yeah,
sessions.
I
I know,
don't just
I'm
turn
not
up.
saying
Like
that.
I've had a couple events. Like I've worked with Focus Hope, Children's
Focus
Hospital. I've worked with the Children's Center right there on Alexandrian. So I've done that like with I do Christmas toy drives. I do that annually. I do turkey giveaways. I've done I do young mothers with a plan. So my young mothers, I've done 8 of them. You know, so I've done in Atlanta, Chicago, Ohio, here. So with those, every proceed that I get from that goes to Focus Hope or Children's Hospital. I don't take $1 home, you know. But with that being said, with that, I'm still trying to bring together millennials and trying to push forward, not just in Detroit, but all over the state. With trying to understand how we can help each other have the entrepreneur mind, and also why actually letting people know, understand that we all came from the same place. You know, we all had, either you had a 9 to 5 and you decided one day, hey, I want to start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to utilize the skills that I have, or I got from college, or I got from wherever, and put it together and actually move forward. So I try to bring all that stuff together. And with that being said, the goal is to always push forward. So when I do that, I try to when I charge people to get in, I don't keep the proceeds, because this is supposed to be free game. You know, this is supposed to be the goal is to make sure we push forward. But I don't want to make money while doing it. I want to actually give back. And so when I give back, it lets me understand that people also, they want to come out more, because they know that it's genuine. Like, you know, it's not somebody just trying to get money off doing, you know, networking events and stuff like that. So I try to balance that out, like do a turn-up event, do a networking event, you know, and then also do a social event where the turn-up, I can, like my Black Town Hills coming up, I have cultural dances, you know, dancing, you know, performing and stuff. So with that being said, that's something I've never done before. With my Black Town Hills, has always been a black time in Hills, like more so like, you know, the theme. But now I'm trying to empower the kings and queens of Detroit with them, giving them a choice. You can wear African attire, or you can dress formal. Nice. Whichever way.
I fucked with that. I just want you to know I bought my ticket already. So I'm real motherfucking excited. I'm so excited, y'all. I haven't been to any of your Black Tiny events. I know about them.
Yeah.
But I need a fit.
And then with that too, like what I was trying to do is, because I'm Nigerian, so I was trying to like, the funniest thing is that I've always had like African food at my events. I just never like promoted it. Yeah, I just never highlighted the stuff, you know, because I feel like I try to just keep it. I try to keep that element of surprise. Like, you know, when you come, oh, what's that? No, I want you to try it. Yeah, I want you to try it first, you know, and understand what it is. You know, like the jollof rice, like I've always had that at my events. So with this, I still haven't highlighted it, because out of respect for jerk and jollof, there's certain things that I do just to promote the African culture, or whatever the case may be, because I have people that are already pushing that culture forward.
I like that too, because that makes people. I like that too, because if I just don't want people to complain. I like it because people who don't know, because you know I never knew that, and the fact that you just acknowledge that you have food there, people won't say, "Oh, he's trying to copy off Czech when you've been doing this." So I like that a lot. That's really good.
You know, I've come to find, no matter what you do,
No, the funny
no
thing
matter
is,
what you
But
do,
still,
you can literally
I like
you
the
can be
fact that,
reviving
you know,
dead
like,
people,
when
you know,
I
and they
put
still
out-
be like, no,
I put out my
I like the
flyer.
fact that he doesn't do that though.
I
That's
put out my
it's a nice element.
what you guys, I don't know if you guys heard, I put out my flyer back in November for my event in June. You know, because I did a fashion show, my first fashion show, not my first fashion show, but for my collection, Lacan collection at the Garden Theater. I did it in November last year. And right after my event, like the day after, I put out a flyer for the Black Town Hills, and everybody went crazy. Like, how can you put out your flyer for something in June? But when I did it, now people started, like, you know, screenshotting my cousin and stuff from Jerk and Jalal, saying, hey, you know this guy, he's taking your,
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my stuff
Always
said,
something.
it says Black Town Hills coming to America, Kings and Queens edition. Then the attire says African or formal. And this was when they were trying to do the Wakanda party back in February. So it's like they were causing like tension and stuff, you know. And so I had to clear it up publicly. I'm like, my flyer came out in November. Black Panther didn't come out until February or so. And the commercial, y'all didn't even start seeing the commercial until December. You know, so with that being said, I was already on this wave. But I wanted to also clear out Jerk and Jollof, they're my hustle mates. I call them my hustle mates. They're my brothers, they're my family. I will never copy them. And then I screenshotted their bio. This is what they actually do. There's no way that I can copy a whole movement. It's not possible. Like, just this is a theme. This is a segment. Like, you know, next year it might be something else. This is just, I'm just running through a segment here. You know, so I had to clear that up publicly, but these are things that people misunderstand you when you don't speak up or say or give a thorough explanation of what you're doing.
I'm sorry, because it keeps making me think about Black Metro Eats, right? So when you put out Black Metro Eats, how did you think people were going to take the title Black Metro Eats?
It was, I mean, it's, of course, people were like, oh, you're race baiting, you know, just all types of reasons to throw hate toward the event. It just, yeah, I mean, but I expected it. I think that to a certain degree, the shock value was there on purpose because it actually had purpose and because I knew it would get people's attention. I think that when people ask, like you asked in the beginning of the podcast, you know, like from a marketing standpoint, you know, how do we step out? Well, I mean, my response whenever I get a question like that is, well, when you write that press release for your event and you send it to whomever you know within the media, is it news or are you just looking for them to do a favor?
You better bring it back around to that
Well,
first
no, because seriously, I mean, because if it's news, then you won't have to beg them to cover it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's their job to cover news. If it's just a party or
A shout out.
just a fashion show or just, you know, like it literally is just something, why should I post your event more than I should post anyone else's event? And so it's like, you know, I think having that purpose there is what is most important. Because then it automatically is news.
I wanted to ask for the room, like, what is the balance with the things you do, like the creative influences, the things you put out, versus like real life? How do you balance those two, or do they collide a lot, or is it
shit
have
you
you
wanna do,
found
the shit you have to do.
yeah, exactly, the shit you want to do versus the shit you have to do?
I'm getting to the point where I hope to want to do the shit that I have to do. At some point, I mean, I teach from a 9-to-5 perspective, even though teaching is definitely not a 9-to-5 because parents find a way to email me and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, I teach, and what I do is, I have access to a wonderful desktop and pretty reliable Wi-Fi at work, so I just stay after and continue working. So that they collide in a beautiful way. But I try my best to kind of like make both worlds collide in the best way that I can. Like if I can involve my students in something that I'm doing, no, not they don't deserve it. Shout out to University of Prep Academy Middle
Hey,
School,
you
though.
prep.
Shout out to you prep.
Shout out to you, Brad.
But no, I mean if I can involve them in maybe helping me get down to the nitty gritty with an idea that I have, or maybe fleshing something out. Like I've literally asked my students, like when I was doing the second picture mom, I was like, y'all, what do y'all think about this title? Not letting them know that it was mine, but just like, if somebody came to you about a party called Put Your Mama Where Your Mouth Is, would you go? Half the class was like, I put my mama where my mouth is. You know, the other half was like, oh, that's lit. So it's like, I knew this is probably the response I'm going to get from everyone else.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
And
I
it was
Out of the mouths of
pretty.
babes.
I saw that shit pulled up. I said,
But it's not until
Okay.
you see cooking competition between moms that you're like, oh, bet it up. Hey, what's going on? Hey, Reyes. That's culture creators.
TRL.
Love them. Love them. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try to involve them so that my worlds collide beautifully, and that's what I want to happen. Like I love teaching, and I think that I think all of what I do is like teaching across the board. People coming to my events means hopefully, at least my goal is for it to mean that they understand my goal.
I feel like you really want to share information.
Yeah.
Like that seems to be at the root of everything you do,
Yeah.
or at least that I see.
No, absolutely. So it's like if I've come across, or my message has come across, and you're like, I get it, now I'm coming, I'm done my job.
Right.
Because I just need you to show it.
No, really, get that money out.
Please, because we're gonna use it the right way. It's going down.
Whatever you want, I'm gonna bring my money.
Say that.
Talk about.
Say that.
What you want?
Oh, in July? Oh yeah, Return of Idlewild.
What's that?
It's a 3-day music retreat up in Idlewild, July 27th to the 29th. You heard it here first.
Hey, you heard it here. Where's the goddamn horn?
Wait, hold on.
Damn it.
2620.
Wait, everybody slow down.
2620.
Oh my God, was I wrong?
2620.
2620.
20.
This is it.
Wait.
Hey.
What's the name one more time?
That was,
It's Return of Idlewild, a music retreat, July 27th to the 29th. Tickets will be going on sale in about a week. $100 to reserve your spot is due on by June 15th.
More about it. Let them know what it's
Yeah,
about.
I mean, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Everything's included in your ticket. Transportation up there and back, lodging, food, drinks, ATVs, water sports, concerts on Saturday.
Y'all
Wait,
Wait.
Wait a minute. Talk about the portion that goes.
What? Oh, well, yeah, $50 from each
Charlie, you
ticket.
wanna promote this?
Right.
Yeah,
Go
promote
ahead.
it.
Make me remember. Yes. 'Cause, like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, $50. So tickets are $300. But $50 from each ticket goes toward the renovation of the Flamingo Club, which is an establishment that sits directly in front of the main beach in Idlewild. It's condemned right now, and we want to get it back up on its feet. So.
Why?
Yes.
Because, it puts money back into infrastructure that already exists, instead of trying to, create something new in an area where, like, Lake County is the poorest county in the state of Michigan, and so, it makes a lot more sense for us to put money into something that already is there, so that people can use it for, family reunions or festivals like what I'm saying. Oh no, why is it in Idlewild?
Right,
No,
there we go.
because Idlewild, okay, I thought you meant like why.
I mean, I still don't know that. I
Okay.
know that, but
Well, you know that now, but no,
Hello.
Idlewild. Why Idlewild? Because Idlewild was a black oasis back in the 40s and 50s, and then upon the coming of integration, black people kind of left, as they so often do, to go to other places. Yeah, to go to other places that they previously weren't allowed. Yeah, down south. And so when they did that, Idlewild just kind of simmered down quite a bit. So, it's still there. It's still largely black owned. But it's just looking a lot like some parts of Detroit. You've got cabins that are kind of dilapidated. You have a street where there would be like 3 or 4 really, really, really nice and well-kept cabins next to cabins where the roof is caving in. And so
Detroit.
because I see Detroit in that,
the West Side.
I wanted to literally see Detroit in that. Yeah, no, seriously. I mean, you're like a block. So, yeah.
Respect.
Okay.
It's going to be great.
Thank
It's
you.
really going to be great. So come through. We got all local artists performing that Saturday up there. Charity Ward, Super Cool Wicked, pretty much all the Video 7 is coming. We got great DJs, Sheepy McFly.
Video 7's
Yeah,
great.
it's going down.
Like,
It's
I
going
love
down.
this.
They're great.
So come through. It's going to be a good time. It's the first one. And, I really want as many millennials as possible to be a part in, or have a part in bringing Idlewild back. So,
Sorry,
let's go.
no, actually, I like that you went outside of Detroit.
Yeah.
I think
we
there
need
has to be
something
another
different.
bridging of a gap too.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta start with us.
Yeah.
Is that my voice?
Yes, actually,
I was in front of
exactly.
his headphones on, and
Yep.
he heard it.
Exactly what it was.
He heard it.
Yeah.
He Braxton.
Oh, it is.
Oh, Lord.
Stop playing so much. Anyway.
Wow. She black. Told you.
Never mind. Fuck what I was gonna say. You just fucked my voice. Go ahead.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, my God.
He had anything. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, because Anyway.
I thought you was about to play.
Right.
Where
you
you
have,
went?
No,
you have three.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm setting up, but you, like, y'all don't mind me.
But can I just say how like everybody at this table is so dynamic? I'm just like seriously, like we look around, everybody at this table has something different going on, and I would love for there to be a highlight of that. 'Cause, I mean, we've been talking, but like,
Nah.
what's going on with y'all?
Can I tell you something funny?
What's up?
Can I tell you something funny with that question? Dante, Jerron, and I, we get a lot that the way that we communicate.
Yeah.
Right. They always are. Because I'm not going to sugarcoat that shit. Everybody that encounters us, like, feels our vibe. And we're always on our own little, you know, our own little, but we always try to make it really inclusive, you know what I mean? And in rooms like this, I think it's funny, like, that you brought it to the head. I mean, because you and Charlie, so Charlie, hey, Charlie.
Hey, girl.
Y'all are best friends, clearly.
Yeah.
So y'all are on your own way, because I see y'all niggas. I see y'all looking at each other,
Wow.
and then looking at each other. Trust and believe, I know those looks.
Okay. Like I'm saying, it's like, right, I'm getting this out.
No, I appreciate you for asking, but we good. We good, we in the hood.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody has had a really long ass weekend, John. I know I have. What you looking
But no, but to
What
answer,
you wanna ask?
to answer your
What's
question.
up?
Thank you.
To
Do
answer your
that.
question. Yes, I know that you just speaking different facets of a nice diamond. Yeah, I'm doing the acting thing, you know. Always doing the acting thing. Constantly working with Obscure Broadcast Network and
Shakespeare in the Park coming back?
Shakespeare in Detroit will be coming back in this summer. Right now they're doing a read-through so that they can build funds for the now soon to be groundbroken actual edifice for Shakespeare in Detroit, which will be on the riverfront, in the Cranes building or the old Cranes factory. And so shout out to Sam White, my theater mother. So yeah, I mean that's something I'm constantly working on. Between the 9 to 8 for me, with some people's on 9 to 5, mine's a 9 to 8. This is also my, you know, my heart project as well. I'm trying to find out exactly how I can get this, you know, this train humming real hard like I want it to, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's what I'm talking
I wanted to ask, because we're embarking, us three, are embarking on this endeavor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like collectively we've all been at different stages of our lives, which has caused us to like, what word do I want to use? I don't want to, has caused that, like we all love doing this podcast. And, you know, we've gotten support and people are, you know, fucking with us. But like, I know in certain moments, it's like, damn, like, we're on episode
19 now.
Oh, 19, and we've gained somewhat of a following, and I'm happy about that. But I'm looking for us to set it off, and as the
we are very
Tastemakers,
impatient though.
Yeah, we are very, very, very
Okay, makes
impatient.
you more ambitious,
Very.
so makes you more ambitious.
I mean, yes, it does make us more ambitious. But I want us to be more ambitious as a collective, because we all. Dante is an actor. I am working on music. I am also in real estate, and I work for a company that owns half of Detroit.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
and Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about now.
And then Lisa is, you know, Lisa. And then us colliding, us as friends, like we love being friends. We love each other.
Yes.
But us being business partners, that is
A whole new world.
Yeah.
I don't think it's appropriate for us to have this conversation.
No, you don't
Do you know why I think it's not appropriate?
No.
Because this
You didn't even know where I was going to go with
this
that.
no longer becomes any of the
Well, I
other
think
people
what he was
in the
about to
room.
do, I think he was about to do was ask
No,
them
I know
how
what
it's
he-
been
I
for
know what
them
he's about to do.
to,
Yeah.
He knows
to
what
face
I'm
that
about
whole
to
new
For the
world.
group, but I had to. I feel like
you
y'all
have to
got the
set it up.
context.
Okay, what's the question?
The question.
No shade.
No shade. My question
All
is.
shade, all tea. Let's go.
No.
My question is, as successful people, how was it a mindful decision to go on your own and then have collaborative efforts, but still being a single entity?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
and if you have, because
Fire!
I I feel like, like I said, I feel like a wave needs to happen, and the central goal, or at least when we started this podcast, was to have a hub where all the different tastemakers, the people that are out here, can have a hub to come and just have a conversation and to push the culture.
Here's what I was really going to say. I really wanted to speak to what we talked about earlier, bridging the gap between New Detroit and Old Detroit, because when people talk to me or ask me about what it is that I'm doing, right? I constantly bring up our podcast. And what I first and foremost say is that what we try to do is we try to bring old elements, such as creatives that have already been here and are establishing something or have established themselves, into the new Detroit scene. So we're here at Detroit Foundation Hotel, which used to be a fire station, which is now being remodeled into a hotel. We're sitting in a Foundation studio. The apparatus room is right next to us. And we're bringing in people who are establishing themselves into this element of this new gentrification. And we're having this conversation so that we can motivate the people that are trying to still come up. And motivate and speak to the people who still live here, like the Detroit natives that still exist, so that they don't feel like they can't exist in this new Detroit.
And so, like, this is what I keep speaking to in regards to many different facets to a very beautiful diamond. And my purpose for this podcast was to give kind of an adult's survivor's guide, because finding out exactly what being an adult is, or really being grown up, is bullshit. It's flat out malarkey, and no wonder Mama kept saying, just wait till you grow when I was younger, you know. So I wanted to give something that was honest and vulnerable and you know, kind of a pressure release valve for all of the, you know, for the millennials, post-millennials, baby boomers even, and all the babies who will soon understand what it is like after, during and after college, you know, like, because it's that whole hump ain't easy for everybody.
Or ain't as easy as they said it was going to be.
Well, it never is.
No one has conversations that need to be had. So.
Okay.
So how do we get how do we get those conversations started?
No,
exactly. Some people.
Thank God.
Some people, but I feel like how do we widen the space?
To be very specific, right? You've heard my explanation for why I wanted to do this, and you've heard Dante's, right? Not to say that we're not all on one accord with how we feel, but where do you get to in your partnership and in your friendship when you guys are?
But you all have your own
separate views, own separate like perspective of what it is that you want to do with your collaborative effort. How do you guys go
Absolutely.
ahead? Let's introduce Bria into this motherfucker.
I'm Bria Loren. This is Bria Loren. So I would like to chime in on this because it just so happened that I have a good friend and business partner here, and we decided to collaborate and chime in together that we have Charlie. Yes. We decided to collaborate because we're both bloggers, but in our own right. She does more writing and picture blogging. I do and more lifestyle. I do more hair and beauty and video. So collaborating, we made the Bloggers Bootcamp to give two perspectives on how to blog and how to be a blogger full time, basically. So I feel like those type of collaborations are great to where you can have somebody that is in your same realm but has a different perspective. And that's what makes it interesting. So I always think that collaborating with people.
You decided to get on this mic. I'm gonna ask you this. Why y'all laughing?
Because girl, that was.
Anyway.
I don't know if it's the rasp. Because I wanted you to be like, hey my loves.
Hey my loves. No, since you decided to get on this mic, I want to ask you, as a woman, as a black woman and a blogger, and there are so many bloggers and lifestyle pictures, and so many photographers. You, Charlie, you also. This question is for you. How do you go about doing this? How do you go about doing this without any level of cattiness?
Well, okay, so I think that's all with insecurity of yourself first.
Yes.
Because, you know, a lot of people are insecure and feel threatened when they see somebody else that might dampen their light.
Give me an
But okay,
we got an example by now.
Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave it to myself.
Okay,
you know, for me, on one hand, I don't worry about anybody else because I'm confident in myself. I know who I am. I know what I am, and nobody else. Like if I see another beautiful girl or somebody that got it going on, girl, you doing it. You look good.
Absolutely.
Keep it going. You know, whatever you got is looking right. So I just always make sure that I keep that same mindset, and it's like it's no reason to hate. Everybody's on their own journey.
And she ain't McPherson, okay? She ain't worry about nothing. They all fine, okay? All of them.
No, man, go man.
Sorry. I've been a fan for years.
To answer the question, I think.
Wait,
you're not finished?
No, wait. Actually,
what?
Before you answer that, and I want to be specific about you real quick.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
You're not a Detroit native.
No.
So, when you decided to get into this scene, how was that? What steps did you have to take to break through?
Okay, I'm gonna answer that, and I'm gonna answer.
No, we ain't gonna forget about the caddy.
Okay, because I got two other things.
Oh
to
no,
say.
that's how you answered that one in the same book.
Thank you. Sorry, the munchies, guys.
I'm not a Detroit native. I'm actually born in Connecticut. I've been living in Michigan, Southfield, really, for like all my life. You know, yes, Southfield.
She knows I roll my eyes at this every time.
I'm from Connecticut, and I'm very proud of that.
What?
Yes.
Proud of that?
Yes, I am. Anyways.
Mind you, we met in 7th grade.
So what?
In Southfield, Michigan.
But I don't want to be a person that claims
Friendship
Detroit and not from
dynamic.
Detroit either. Like, that's rude. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Girl. So people be having problems. It's like people who live in fucking Southfield be like, oh, I'm from Detroit, but you're not. Like, doesn't that person change? Anyways,
I'm glad you got out of Connecticut, girl. That's all I know.
That's all I got.
Baby.
She clicked them heels. Go ahead.
I know where I'm from. Anyways, I will say I've always been in Detroit. I've always done like therapy. The new Detroiters come like, oh my god, I'm from Detroit. So where were you guys 4 years ago when Detroit had nothing? Like I've always been around since Red Cup sessions, since BCK, taught. You know, I've been around. So like I've been around. So even though I'm not a Detroit native, you know, I can't claim I'm a Detroiter. I've been around. I've always been in the area since I was like 21, 18. You know, since I was able to do that. So that's kind of how I do that, right? Two, the first question was how do I do things? Well, the caddies, but what was the other one? I want to get to that one.
I just wanted to know how you
collaborate
too.
Oh, being inclusive. I'm always inclusive with everyone. I provide opportunities for everybody. White, black, whomever, New Detroit, Old Detroit. Like, you're going to know who I am because I'm not going anywhere and you will not push me out. So in order to rub shoulders with whomever I got to rub shoulders with, you've got to be inclusive. And even if they're going to be catty, because they always catty, you still have to, you know, be open. You still have to have the bigger, whatever, be the more mature person. Because when you don't dim light on other people, you know, it'll come back to you. Right, now, the example. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to say no names.
Don't, but do.
Thank you.
I'm not going to say no names. But we might know who this person is. Not from the example.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm about to say.
We say names. No, you don't.
I ain't going to say names. That's
Not you.
No.
Okay, you don't
Let me live.
Each of it.
This
So,
man's a real.
Right it all.
You missed this whole session.
okay, so for example, when Bria and I first started the Blogger Branding Bootcamp, it was my idea to start it. I wanted to collaborate. Initially, when I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it with different bloggers to get different perspective. There was one person I brought it to. She said, great. I also brought it to Bria. Bria and I went ahead and did it first because she was available. It worked. And you know what? The vibe was so great. I was like, why not? Let's not fuck this up and just keep it going. So we decided to keep doing this continuously.
Charlie was like, fuck that bitch. Fuck her.
Well, you know what? This works.
But you're right. We worked. The vibe was great. You know, vibing for everybody. Now, the person I had in mind, I really.
But also,
like,
fuck that bitch.
No, I wanted to work with her on other stuff.
Other things, yes.
So then, when we started promoting, instead of her like commenting on the pictures
and supporting you,
she went out her way, made a screenshot of the picture, sent me a text message, and was like, which is the okay symbol. And I was like, what is it? Okay, fine. I just went along. I was like, okay, thanks. And she's like, mm-hmm. And it was real salty. And I didn't say anything because she's a standoffish person, so I didn't know if that was her personality.
Right.
But like, I really felt like you went out of your way to screenshot a picture and give me an okay symbol instead of just saying, great.
Stand passive aggressive.
But
and
that
seems to be the trend in Detroit.
So wait. So then,
because we
times
all
go by.
hate each other for some reason.
So times go by. I see her. You know, I don't think anything of it. Then one day, we're all on the panel together, and I find out she's not following me. So then, I'm nosy. It's not a big deal.
Never looked her up while they were on the stand.
I was listening who she's following. She's also not following Bria. And it's like, you won't follow both of us because of this situation. Like, you ain't got no reason. You ain't got no reason not to be for this.
Yes!
Yes, you do.
This is when you need that, son.
in person, you act all friendly, then you like roll your eyes behind her
Keep
back.
that same
You went out of
energy.
your way to unfollow us, and you get.
Because she could have gone about that a different way. She
You
could have
could've
just been
just told
like,
us.
oh, hey, I actually want to be a part of it still. Like,
we still had plans to
brought
work
up
with her,
lunch and
but she went out of her way to be kind of catty, and it was
Right.
like, why? Because we like her.
She
Like,
don't
I
fight
like her. It's fucked up.
No.
What?
She don't want to fight though.
She gonna screw up, so.
So yeah, that was.
I heard them Southfield high girls can't fight though.
Why you our relationship
But you heard wrong.
I heard y'all used to get beat up by Grove students at
That is-
Southfield Star. At the Southfield Star. They used to get beat up by Groves at the Southfield Star.
I feel like
got shit to lose.
the hate never has to have hands laid on. Okay? If you hate, then hate from afar. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Just ask questions.
Just ask questions.
All I'm
That's all
saying is
it
just
is.
I heard that.
just communicate.
Nigga be
Like,
violent.
a lot of
Ask
shit could have
questions.
been.
Okay.
A lot of shit could have been like.
Well, you know why? I mean, but you know why? Like when people hate, they don't know why they hate, so they don't want to talk. What they
I
want to
makes
talk
me
because they'll get embarrassed.
because we really
So
like
you
this
just mad.
person. So it's like,
So-
just
So, I got a question.
Right.
I got a question for the room.
Let's start from the men to the women.
So, like, everybody is, dabbled into what they wanted to do. And obviously, I know y'all personally, some of y'all dabbled in what y'all had to do, right? So, what did it take and what was the first move towards you getting closer and closer to doing what you wanted to do, like, exclusively? You know what I mean? I have a friend of mine, who was last episode's demo, which I was grown, Jay Adams. Oh, no, that was Josh. The one for that, Jay Adams, he said, I saved up my money for like 3 months and went out and bought a camera. I mean, I was broke, I was eating noodles, but I had the camera I wanted, and I just study on my own. YouTube video on my own. That drive. So, like, for y'all, what was that first culmination of your drive and your ambition? Like, when you were just like, fuck that!
Oh,
I want to do what I want to do.
let me tell y'all. I got a story for y'all.
Yes, story.
So.
I got a story.
Oh my God! I missed it. Okay, anyways, back. No, I was working at my old job. I was a software engineer at Meridian. Yeah, I'm calling names. I was a software engineer at Meridian. I didn't really like it. My manager was harassing me for 6 months. It was bullshit.
Shout out to the Cottons.
You feel me?
Well.
Anyways, my manager was harassing me for 6 months. Went to HR. They didn't do anything 3 times. So eventually, I just stopped showing up to work. Still got paid. They didn't notice. Started doing my blogging. And then I was too much of a pussy to quit, though, because I knew if I quit, it was like, okay, if I really fail what I'm trying to do, it's on my phone what to do. So I kind of waited until they fired me. So what happened was they found out that I stopped showing up to work. They was like, well, you haven't been badging in. I was like, nah. It was like, well, we're going to let you go. And I was like, alright. And all I had was my cell phone. Like, that's how I don't come to work with shit except for my cell phone, so I'm ready to go. So ever since then, I was just out here reaching out to brands, doing shit. And it's just been working ever since. And I will say in the past 2 months or 3 months, I've already made what I was making per month at my old job. So like, it really was the push I needed because I had no choice. It was like that vibe. If I quit, it would be like, well, I made a decision, so if I feel, I feel. But like, I got fired, so it's like, bitch, you ain't got no choice. So that kind of was what happened for me. So yeah.
For me, it's like
Hashtag for me, that's on the podcast. Sorry,
right, I'm up for making that hashtag. Okay. So I was working downtown as well at a corporate.
We know.
I feel like everybody worked for Quick and Long.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, and so I started blogging because I was colliding my modeling with blogging. I felt like that was a good thing for me to do because I would be able to connect with brands. I would be able to manage myself, but I can also do my hair, which is what I love to do. People ask me about my natural hair, so why just not make it all together and make it work? And so my job was very supportive of me. They knew what I was doing. They knew the direction I was going, and kind of was just if it wasn't a question of if but when I was going to leave.
Right.
So I did decide to go to LA just for some time, and I went during the BET experience, and I really had the experience there. Like, I was just like, no, it's time to go. Like, I was already making enough money doing blogging that I was making that quick money. So, cool. So, I'm already good enough. And then, like, after that, as soon as I quit, like, everything's just been shooting off. Like, and I just, like, I got so much more to go. So, it's just like,
I can't wait.
Like, I'm just, I'm just walking in my purpose at this point. I'm just going.
Can I ask you guys about diligence?
Wait.
Can we answer?
Can they answer?
Wait, no.
No, they didn't get to answer.
No,
I want them to
interrupted.
answer. No.
Interrupting
They can
how?
still answer. They can
Move.
still answer, but
It's
when you,
fine.
fuck you. When you guys do answer, I do want you to tell me about how diligent you had to be to make this shit work. Because you can have an idea, and it's all good and well when you decide to post one thing 1 week, or you have one idea one day.
It's a question, but it's really
Yeah,
shade.
it sure is. Because I'm a shady bitch. You can't expect like things to come from you not doing anything. So how diligent
We
did you have
focus
to
so
be?
much on the future and what it could
Right,
be and
sure.
how much we can be and the star power that we don't think about what's right in front of us right now.
On the day.
And us not thinking about what we have in front of us right then and there distracts you from the goal that you're trying to get to. So I think that a lot of people just get distracted with the end goal and the star power that they don't really want to put in the work to actually do. Actually be that. So you got to realize what you're doing, and you actually have to do. It's, a lot of people procrastinate and say, I want to. But if you really want to do it, then do it.
I'm
you
guilty
know?
of that. I am.
All right, I mean,
When
I
it
am
comes
too.
to me, I had to learn that the hard way because I noticed when I've fallen off, a lot of things is anxiety. I plan for things and I won't do it, and then it's like last minute anxiety happens. So it's like, oh man, I really need to do this shit. And so when I don't do it, I suffer the consequences the hard way. So remaining diligent is really for me, being consistent, and then I see more results, I see more opportunities, I see more partnerships with major brands. So I have to learn that the hard way, like being diligent. If I don't do what I gotta do, shit gonna get taken away and I'm gonna be broke. So
I
that's
still
kind of what
want
happened.
Quick to you to answer. I know I keep, but just for a second. When it comes to mental health and anxiety, how do you shake that? In those moments, instead of continuing to beat yourself up about what
Because
you couldn't do.
girl, I definitely do. Like I go through that a lot. And I work with social media so much. So when it comes to that, I just take a break. Like I will delete the whole app off my phone because I suffer from depression and anxiety the most. It's awful. And so what I do is if I do what I have to do to get paid because I have to make so many sponsored posts or X, Y, and Z or promote. But then I delete the whole shit and like try to go that's not radio silence. Or at least not post or be on or fidgeting around, scrolling, because it gives me so much anxiety. And then, I need to get a therapist. I really need a therapist. But aside from that, I talk to people. I talk to my friends. They talk me out of it. They pull me out of my funk. Like, Pooh does that a lot. Eric does a lot. But, talking to friends and just getting off of social media because that shit be giving me hella anxiety. And so taking a break.
Quick and Chi, how do you guys stay diligent when parties flop? Not to say that your party flops, but if it didn't.
Wait, before that, what was the
Wait.
first thing, the first move? What was the first explosion of drive? Like, what did you do?
Mine was fairly recent, and I think that's what's pretty great about having myself and Chi on here
Yeah, me
because
too.
she's been at this for a while,
For a
and
minute.
I'm like a newcomer.
Everybody
Um,
like, hey.
But I guess for me, it's pretty recent. I had a situation where Lauren, who is my now ex-business partner, and I no longer work together. And so we stopped working together. Shoot, her name's Lauren. Hey, so she and I did the first Detroit Black Restaurant Week together. It was cool. Then we did the first Put Your Mama Where Your Mouth Is. And that went okay. It was back in December, on December 15th. So the weather was pretty trash. It was cold, and it didn't perform poorly, but I knew it could have been much better. But we were having a situation where I started to realize that I was doing a lot of the work. And I think it's just because it lended itself to what my abilities were. And
Standard.
And I think she and I had some very different visions of what we wanted this to be. But all in all, at the end of it, what it proved to me was that I think that I had used the construct of a business partner as like a crutch for areas of my life where I didn't believe that I could do it on my own. And so when I had the idea to do Black Restaurant Week, I was like, oh my God, I need a business partner. You know what I mean? And
Out of the fear of it.
it's right, I need
So just the way of doing it.
This is the way of doing it, and just thinking
And having
who am I?
accountability.
Well, because I was looking at Detroit Restaurant Week, and I'm like, I know that's a committee. I know this is an organization. You know, so it's like, there's, like, I'm like, am I really just about to do this? I'm like, I have to at least have a partner, you know? So, but then I realized, I was like, no, I don't.
You need to, you could have done it all by yourself from the beginning.
And so it was really that ultimately gave me that boost afterward to be like, okay, yeah, it's time to kill this. Cause like, I don't have to have a business partner. I utilize my friends and fellow go-getters to like, as I use them, right, my fellow hustle mates as more like consultants in their lane. So like, I went to Jerk and Jalal because I was like, all right, I know I got the food aspect of this handled. I've got it. The party aspect, people don't know that I like to party. People don't necessarily know how I party. So let's help to kind of frame this out a little bit, and that's where I utilize Jerk and Jalal.
You party?
Right? Exactly. But you know what I'm saying? Like, people, like, I don't know. For me, there was a little bit of mystery. You know, like, people knew who I was, but didn't exactly know what I did. They knew I did a lot. But, you know, like, you know, so I just kind of had to frame that out. And so, yeah, I would say that Lauren and I separating from a business perspective is what really propelled me. So Lauren and I separated from a business perspective is what propelled me.
Do you think that business affects friendship?
Yes.
It should make it,
you know that.
If you're doing it right.
It should make it better. It should make it better. Charlie and I have aspirations to work together on a lot of different ideas that we've got. I would imagine that it would make our relationship even stronger.
Why haven't you guys worked?
It's coming. I think she's doing her thing. I'm doing mine.
That's cool. You didn't answer my question.
Why haven't we worked together? It's just
They
hasn't
have an opportunity for us. I've worked with him on his things and vice versa, but we haven't done a collaborative thing. But we got some major shit coming.
We do.
Be ready. I feel like you're gonna love it especially.
I was like, y'all, let some hoes in, okay? We can all go the fuck up together.
And you know what? I feel the same way because Brianna and I weren't that close until like this blogger branding bootcamp thing that we started. Like, now we're actually very good friends. So if you have to find people who are on the same page, who are open-minded, who are willing to like stay in their lane and let you shine, and vice versa. Sometimes someone's like the husband and the wife, or someone's the forefront, someone's in the back. But sometimes business partners get jealous. Like some people be like, why are you getting all the things? Why is my name not in the publication? Well, maybe because it's not your idea. Like maybe it's their idea and you are the partner or you are the friend, but you didn't come into it with it together. So like some people get really jealous. I've been lucky to find people who are on the same page as me, are humble, are not jealous, understand that they're gonna get their shine, I'm gonna get mine, we can shine together and vice versa. And we also built our friendship even closer. And the people who, you know, don't have that, they're in the background somewhere being jealous and unfollowing people.
Right, like maturity is very important when, you know, at this point. Like everybody's grown. Like in the scene of everything, everybody's mature enough.
Yep.
Or should be mature enough to know. Yeah, to know like if I'm with a circle of winners, why am I mad when they actually start winning? Like we're supposed to be surrounded by winners. So when my friend win, good. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Now I win, you support me, and we just all winning. Like that's what everybody want to be surrounded by winners.
The concept of a collective, a true creative. Collective.
Right, but when y'all actually start winning, y'all actually have to be supportive of each other because that's what's really going to build.
Then they can bring it back.
Right.
Exactly. All it boils down to is somebody else winning doesn't mean that you're losing.
Right.
And seeing the bigger picture.
Like it's billions of people in this world. Like we all can win. You know, like
I wanted to just what does your ideal career look like in the things that you're doing? Like all the things that you're doing now, what is it leading up to? What is that? Just speed round. Like
even
everybody
if you
in
just
the
give
room,
a name,
including the co-host.
Not
a name, no references. I feel like everybody is an individual. I don't give a reference.
No hashtag percentage?
No. I'm talking about like not a reference to like somebody else's career. What does your ideal career look like? Because everybody's working hard, but what are you trying to get to?
Me making millions of dollars while I'm doing it.
No. Anyway, starting with the guests. Quick clue.
I just want to be all things food. A food critic. I would like to own a restaurant or restaurants of my own. Already got Detroit Black Restaurant Week, so pushing on with that. And then let that build. like literally let the bee build. I'm talking. I want a sauce line. I want. Like,
Come on.
I want a skillet. I want.
Yes,
I want a
Martha
cook.
Stewart.
Like seriously, I want a cooking show. Like food.
It'll be great because watching him eat is so enjoyable.
Food.
Amen.
So yeah, that's what I see from an ultimate perspective. The money, I think that will come on its own.
Absolutely.
I just want, I guess, through all of those things, I want to be able to put like black restaurant owners and head chefs on, and like I don't mean the people who like your dinner sergeant juniors that come for money who through a restaurant. I'm looking for somebody who has been catering out of their own personal kitchen for all these years.
The plate.
And they're the ones
For
who
the
really have
community.
the food.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then give them an opportunity, or like a restaurant where I employ like ex-cons and people who at one point were homeless who have a hard time getting into that sort of a job sector. Like that's what I want to see happen by way of this.
Food, culinary.
Yeah, because like I said, it provides a literal and a figurative seat for everybody.
Charlie.
Okay. No, so I mean, I just want to be able to, like anyone else in this room, probably sleep and make money while sleeping. But by doing that, I also, so as you guys know, I don't know if I like stated this fully, but I'm a full-time blogger. I do blogger writing boot camp. I teach people how to be reliant upon themselves, whether it's photography workshops, teaching yourself how to be learning skill sets that you need. And in 2018 as a millennial, you need this shit. You need to know photography, how to use your social media, how to do ads, all this stuff, marketing. So I really wanted to teach people how to transition from 9 to 5s, not necessarily into blogging, but using social media to get paid to do what they're going to do anyway, and then from there flourishing with that. Also, I want to speak to brands and teach them influencer marketing from an influencer standpoint, because they need to know to respect influencers, because without us, we are the direct contact to the consumer. So I really want to educate people with enhancing their skill set for the many, many things that we already do anyway, but just perfecting it, using it to make money. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bria?
Well, for me, I'm just gonna keep it real. I've been wanting to model since I was like 3 years old.
You have been
So,
modeling.
so that's ultimately my full time.
Do you remember
Do
you remember back in school when I was like, man, I remember talking. Sorry. At least a moment. I remember talking to her in the middle of class and being like, "You are gorgeous. You are studying. You do model. This is supposed to be what you do." And she was like, "What? You sure?" And I was like, "Girl, what? What do you mean?"
And it's crazy because that's been so many people have spoken that into my own life without me even saying it since I was young. It's just always been you know how you just know something
She told me I should go to New York. I should go to New York. You're an actor. You're an actor. I'm
yeah,
am I?
Yeah, right, exactly. You just know, and so that's ultimately where I want to get to full time. And then I also want to be a person of influence. I love to inspire people. I love that people look up to me. I love that I can be a positive influence on people, and that I can make people laugh or say that you actually inspire me to think of something or to do something. I love that. So that's
I just wanted to say, when I met you in high school, that was the first thing. That was the thing that everybody said when they introduced. Oh, that's Bria. Yeah, she models, and I was just like, oh, okay. So I was like, you've been a model since.
We were talking about 6 degrees of separation before the show started. No, I know. Don't do that. We were talking about 6 degrees of separation before the show started, and since we're all having a reminiscent moment, I remember modeling with you and Akila.
Yeah.
God, when we were 14.
Yep.
Yep.
Were we on modeling?
At Dante Marshall's Love.
But it's really good to sit across from you. I love you.
That was so cute.
That was very Whitney.
No, what? Bobby!
I love you.
I love you.
She, where do you want to
I love you too. I'm sorry.
Just getting different store location, I guess, with my brand, and my ultimate goal is to have a talent agency. Actually, yeah, that's my main goal with getting into liquor, getting my own liquor and all that. So I'm trying to
Mobile.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to make everything align, which means everything has to correspond, everything has to cross paths for that to happen, and it's a stepping stone, So I'm focusing on one thing hoping that can open up the door for the next thing. So that's just like because I reached the ceiling right now where like I felt like I was grown. I was doing well. I was making money, like good money, but I feel like I'm not growing, and that's a problem for me. You know, so.
I like that you acknowledge this.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, because this, like, I feel like if you're not growing and you're just making money, then you're not happy.
Yeah.
You know, and
It becomes a job.
It's a lot. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of people that have money that are not happy. You know, and that's because there's no growth. So what I decided to do was apply, reapply, and repeat. So that's just my motto for everything.
And pressure.
What's your idea?
For me, I would say no. So I mentioned a little bit about it earlier. I'm a creative. There's nothing I can do about it. Photography, modeling, fashion. I want to open the minds of any and everybody, every human being, and allow them a safe space to dream and imagine and to escape. In a way that is healthy and enlightening and positive for their well-being. That's what I want to do with everything that I do. And so, you know, it's gonna take that. The next 3 months, I'm gonna have to stack my bread, get my equipment, and y'all gonna see what I'm talking about.
My ideal situation. I feel like I've spent so much time like focusing on how to be stable, like getting a degree and getting a good job, and you know, I wanted to live in Midtown, so living in Midtown, like doing all these little feats, like to create this world where I felt comfortable, and but I feel like in that process, I pushed my creative side out, like because I'm a musician, I'm a singer, and I feel like not a lot of people know that about me. So I want to put that forth, like find a way to create music, and whether it's like one person hear it or like a million people hear it, like just to create music and to continue to create music, because like you said, money isn't really the goal, because I'm getting money now, but I'm not happy. Like I want to be happy in my creative space or sphere with the people that I collaborate with, and doing the things that make me happy. So that's my goal. Lisa, so we can go to the next segment. Finally.
Oh shoot.
Right.
No.
Come on, Tony.
So, I was just gonna say, everybody's always in their own stage of development in their life. So everybody's path is completely different. And for me, right now, I am finally in a space where I can focus on myself, because I've spent so much time focused on my daughter. Like, really. And I'm just now finding out what my passions are and where I lie and what I really want to do. And to Dante's point, I do always want to create a safe space. I like people to feel open and to feel my aura and to have conversations with me. And whatever happens after that, so be it. But right now, this is the beginning of that. And to Bria's point earlier, I've just been looking at everything daily, as far as not really looking into the future, because it does give me anxiety. Fucks me up a little bit, because I'm not exactly where I should be for myself right now. And around, like at this table, everybody's successful, you know, in their own way. And if I sit here and I try to compare my success to Charlie's success or to Bria's success, Chi's success, it's not going to make any sense. So for me, my ultimate goal right now is just to continue finding myself and my voice and making people feel open in whatever platform that is. Whether I'm, you know, standing across from somebody across the bar and like talking to them and seeing where that takes us and what collaborations we can do, you know, and we're sitting around in this formal setting with y'all at this table and making y'all feel open enough to have conversations like the ones y'all just had with us. You know what I mean? So that's what I want. Anyways, on to
Millennials who are doing their thug thizzle in regards to like what they're supposed to do, obviously to pay their bills, but also making major strides in what they want to do, and being beacons of light and hope and inspiration for those of us who might not have yet to find how to approach that bridge that gap. And I want to give the whole room the appointment.
Because we bridging the gap right motherfucking now, y'all.
I wish I was grown. Because honestly, separately, all y'all motherfuckers.
Killing it.
Would have been a DWIWG at some point. So yeah. Obviously we will tag and give out shout outs to their actual handles at the end of the episode. So stay tuned to all that information. Bam. wish I was grown.
That was beautiful. I like the way you did that.
I
Off
like
rip.
the horn.
That's my nigga. You an actor for sure, for sure. Anyways, all right. So on to our last and final segment, y'all, which is where were you at?
You didn't have to try for it to be as creepy as it is.
I actually did not have to try to whisper this time.
Nope. I hate you.
All right,
This
so
horn.
basically, if you guys have never listened to this episode, and yes, I'm gonna do this every time we have a guest on. This portion is I'm gonna play some songs. All right, and y'all gotta guess what the fuck the songs are. Okay, so the title and the artist, and if you have a thought of where it brought you back to. So like, you know,
The first thought that
the
comes
first
to your
thought
mind.
that comes to your mind, like reminiscent moment.
Like when you hear peaches and cream.
Yes, okay. I was in the car with my mama, okay? I said, bitch, what you talking about?
Okay.
All right, so that type of shit. All right,
My
y'all.
mama.
All right. Thumb me, nigga.
Oh.
Oh,
We going to that out. Oh, we going to that.
that.
The people on live like, what?
Hey, quick. All right, first song. Don't look. I saw you look.
Go ahead.
Oh, Bills.
That wasn't even hard.
Yeah. It was hard because clearly nobody else spoke up.
You said it louder.
No, y'all weren't gonna let it happen.
Okay, quick. So what was the first image you got? Yes, that one.
So, I don't know. The Globe is so real, y'all. Like when that came out, how old was it? I was gonna say 8, like about 8. Yeah, I remember being. So I was gonna say Latchkey is what came to mind.
Yeah.
Being in Latchkey, I had the disc because I had my portable CD player, and I had my portable CD player, and I was in Latchkey dancing, and all the other kids in Latchkey probably thought I was weird as the fuck. But that's okay, because I got it all out, and I found myself while they're still looking. So anyhow, the whole point is that it took me back to Latchkey. So I was like a little, my head was like a milk dud.
Oh my
I was
god.
a latchkey kid.
I hated that shit.
Definitely a huge variable in this equation right now. Like messy back then.
Shoot.
Next song.
That's all. Y'all can't say shit.
Square Biz, Tina Marie.
Yeah! Wait a minute, Bria. Hold on, Bria. Wait.
Right.
Nobody can't tell you about
So.
So.
What's your?
Where was I? I wasn't even thought of. My dad and my mom was probably somewhere down the slope. I had a good time.
Yes.
But I do remember. Okay, honestly, my mom can't stand her voice. She feels like that she whines. Like so like when I was a kid, I just remember her being in the car. I can't stand her voice. So I remember that. But when I got older, I appreciated her music. So I love her now.
My first image is like being told to go to bed, but hearing this song blasting from like the basement. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody on their high.
You know, like
Yeah.
I used to want to be around the grown-ups so bad, so bad.
Because it sounded like they were having so much fun because the
And-
music they were
Yeah, that
playing.
song is very
And now
fun.
we see they're
Yes.
just escaping from.
And I also noticed that I thought I was doing something when Missy Elliott had rapped the same rap on 1 2 Step for Sierra. And I thought that I was doing something saying that, but then I realized later that, this is on the older song. Okay, this is
Damn.
You know what? I didn't realize like until I was like in high school that she wasn't black.
right.
Oh,
What
Really?
you
Like,
Like nobody, like my mom, like she would play her.
That-
She's white.
No, she's
She's
just
white.
white.
that happened for me with Pink as well.
Oh yes, Pink
I
was
know.
first.
I love
I know
R&B.
Pink.
I love R&B.
Like that first and
Yeah.
second single of Pink.
Yeah.
Where there you go.
No.
Pittsburgh.
I thought she was like Latina.
I thought she was black. Cause
sounded
her
like
album
high
cover was
school
like the
time.
pink. She looked like she was like a light skinned chick with like a pixie cut.
She could have been a black
Yes,
kid.
with a 27.
Like
Oh,
my-
that's
Yeah.
27.
Yeah.
The 27.
72, are you fucking around?
Right.
That shit.
No, it was not
Okay,
that.
I mean,
that's that auntie weird.
in the back.
All right, I got one more song for y'all.
Wow.
Um,
Oh, this must be you.
I'm out.
Sound like Swiss beat. No, or
Yeah.
for real.
That's for real.
Sound like both
for real.
of them. Yeah, I love it for real.
Yeah.
What era?
Joe better know.
This,
I heard it, man.
This is 2003,
Is that the
Jada
clip?
Kid?
4.
Is that Pusha T?
Ah, you closer.
That's Pusha T.
You
Wait,
hot.
wait.
Yes, it is the
Clips
clips,
are
my
real.
nigga.
Oh, the clip.
I forgot. I don't know the name though.
I rarely remember that.
Damn, what's the name? What do you say?
Damn.
Goddamn.
God damn.
The name of the song is Goddamn.
It's actually called Cot Damn.
Hot damn.
C-O-T.
All right.
I don't want to know. I bet it's got something to do with the white stuff.
Have you read the lyrics?
I'm thinking like
I'm
Did they
sure
go, what were they going for?
I don't know.
Jail. Did you guys see Pusha T's new album cover?
Yeah.
that shit's
no.
rude. That shit rude.
Yeah.
You
as
think
How
it's
dare he
rude?
disrespect
Yes, it
the
is.
woman
That's
I
what he
love.
used his bathroom.
I'm aware. Why does it root to you?
So
That's not.
she's
That's
not
that's
dead.
explicit.
What does this album have to
It's
do
too
with
soon.
her?
Right.
We've all seen that photo
Let me see
before.
this. So Dante said that it was like he felt as though it was a warning from Pusha T that this is.
It wasn't from Pusha T. It was
No, I mean
from
not
Kanye.
from, you know what I mean.
But I feel like in what we do to like for those of us who are otherworldly, right? Like
You gotta grab the mic like that.
we used to, bro. So I'm real passionate about it. I'm real passionate about how I felt about that picture. Yeah, it is. That's when we all found out that she was on that real stuff, and that was a confirmation.
No, wasn't that the picture from the Clive Davis when she died?
Yeah.
Or
Like
that's
in the
her.
bathtub.
Yeah, that's not. We been knew she was on that shit.
Right.
Well, either way, for what it did for me, it reminded me, like, for all of us who are like not of this world, and this world is not enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, to watch yourself and be careful. Be careful what you do. It was like that's what I felt. It was like a warning.
Right.
I feel like that's why we needed to see, or Kanye felt like we needed to see it.
I love that you.
I
feel crazy
understand that, but at
and
the same
Kanye, 'cause
time,
you're
I
crazy.
feel like we know about Whitney. But I'm sorry, I love Whitney. Like,
Yeah.
she's the only person that I can still listen to this day, still get cheers, and damn it, I'll cry. I might.
Yeah.
So, like, I love her voice that much. So, I just feel like
Do you hate that
this
they
is
hang
like
that over
just let her be. Just let her rest in peace. We know what she went through, and it's very unfortunate that she went down that path. But at the same time, like, I feel like just let her be. Show your bathroom. What's your bathroom?
Right.
What's in your
I mean,
closet?
that's my thing. My
What's in
thing
your
is like,
closet?
why are you utilizing?
It's
Why are
funny.
you utilizing someone's demise or like
I can
their
tell you
downfall as like the shock value for the? Come on, like without this album cover, the reality is that no, it was not news that Pusha T was dropping an album.
An album.
And
At
so then
all.
the album cover got
And that's why
traction,
Kanye
and then
did
I
that
listened
shit.
to the
And
album
Kanye
like,
is
oh, well,
like
it's
going
just
for it.
well because then I was like, well, now I need to know if the album lives up to the hype of this album cover, or did y'all just waste my time?
No, the album's supposed to be good.
It is. I listened to it in the
I just
shower.
feel like,
but,
I feel
you
like
know.
Kanye is in this era where he just wants headlines,
Right.
just like Donald Trump. It's very it's like eerie that it's very similar. He's doing
That's
all the
actually
thing he
what
does is just so people can say that he did it, and
Just like
that's it.
Gemini's.
Right.
And it has no artistic. I hate when people try to sell bullshit for art. Like, oh, we're gonna use Whitney the picture of the sink and mirror of the bathroom that Whitney Houston died in as your album cover because ain't nobody worried about a Pusha T album one, and this will get people to look at it.
I'm like,
Shots fired.
is her bathwater my cologne? Like, are we doing this? I just, I mean, I'm just saying. It's just, I think it goes back to the conversation of like, you won't have to stoop to these levels if what you're doing is actually news, and that's the problem. You feel like nobody was checking for Pusha T.
You know what he'll say? He'll say like, y'all did this to me. Y'all made me do this. I was in the hospital getting liposuction because the album called me.
He sounds like one of my middle school students. Like, that's like when I point out one of my middle school students, like, you're out of uniform. I mean, she is too. Okay. So like, what's the? You know what I mean? Like, what's the
So
problem?
what now?
Like,
Yeah.
You're still wrong.
You're still.
Whether we made you do this or not, you
You're
still
wrong.
did it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry you fell for the bait.
Do you
but-
feel better that you're taking this other person down with you?
You know what I'm saying? Like Whitney though.
He called that man what, less than 24 hours before the album was supposed to come out, and was like, no, change the artwork. They need to see this. The people need to see this. Well, hey Kanye, we had a conversation about the artwork previously, and I like that. And that new artwork costs $85,000, and I don't really feel like shelling out
Right.
24 hours before this new album comes out.
Yeah.
And Kanye was like, I got it. They need to see this. I don't know. From somebody who used to be bullied, sad, and depressed all the time, and heard a Kanye album and felt better. I want to know what his reason was, no matter if he's lost his mind or not. I'm not saying it makes sense.
That
I'm
matters,
not saying it's right, but that should be a variable in my equation for me.
His opinion's been canceled for me, like at this point.
Oh, right.
Kanye. Like I'm sorry, like I know that it's just I feel like people have a reverence fear of him and other celebrities. Like they feel like they can't. They, you know, it's
the
like,
Michael Jackson factor,
right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you don't like Kanye, but da, da, da. It's like everybody can have their own opinion, but for me, have to make sure they know. I can't. I hate when people like try to make things deeper than what they already are, and they don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And you know how you just always look at people with that squinty side eye, like,
bitch. But okay, so think about your best friend though. Your best friend, y'all rock with each other because y'all align in the same way, vibrations, and then for whatever reason, you know, I put myself on glass. I had one too many, and I made that late ass call that I should not have made. You know what I'm saying? That my best friend would be like, bitch, you knew fucking full well you should have did that, or hit that one blunt that I shouldn't have hit because I was gonna pass out. And you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
so like, I feel like
at that lapse in judgment.
Right. So like, this can't be.
Is life a lapse? Is life a lapse?
This is a long. He ain't been this way the whole time, y'all.
I want to be
long lapse.
I might have had to hold your hair back once.
right.
But like every day, like that's a lifestyle.
Backhand you every night.
Every lifestyle, bro. No.
That is
Sorry.
a completely different conversation for a different episode.
Oh, right.
A Kanye West argument could go a lot of ways.
And I don't even have the energy.
It don't even have to be about Kanye West, but
He doesn't deserve all that.
the shit that's going on.
I love you, Easy. I know you fucked up right now, but you know, love will heal all things. Love will heal all things.
Yeah,
He doesn't even know you.
Yes, he does.
He need a black woman.
Saw me stand underneath him.
He need a sister.
Goddamn Joe Louis.
All right, guys. Chi and Kwaku, I want you guys to give a shout out to your events that are coming up really quickly.
Nice
and then
reminder.
go ahead and give them your IG and tell them where they can follow you.
June 1st, I got the Black Time Hills coming up at the Garden Theater, 8 till 2 a.m. And you can follow me at LE4_DON.
I'm always interested in how many times.
Oh yeah, you gotta say how many times.
Let's see. So on, I got 3 events coming up. I got Trail Grill, Sunday, June 17th, El Club, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. You can find the information for those tickets this coming week at blackmetroeats.com, as well as on the Instagram, which is black_metro_eats. And then on July 27th to the 29th, we have the return of Idlewild. Tickets for that will go on sale next week. You can put $100 down to hold your spots. There are only 45 spots, so it is very much so a music retreat, and it will be intimate as far as amount of people, not like that. I mean, unless you bring somebody to be intimate with, that could be fun. And then the third week of August, August 20th to the 26th, will be the 2nd annual Detroit Black Restaurant Week. And you can also find information about that on blackmetroeats.com. There'll be for anyone that is a restaurant owner or a chef or whose work is adjacent to the food industry, we're having a meeting on June 4th at 6 p.m. at Bamboo, Detroit.
No.
Yes.
Awesome.
So come through.
You know, since we got you guys and since you guys hopped on the mic, Bria and Charlie, do you guys have anything coming up?
Coming up, okay, so I will be a part of the Bravo event. That's by the Detroit Orchestra Hall. You didn't see it. I was on Fox 2 News. But yeah, I will be there. That's June 1st. It is a black tie event, and you know you have to come looking right if you want to be.
I'm fucking. Listen, she's getting so ready.
No excuses. It's just
I felt that don't embarrass me.
Don't
embarrass me.
Right, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass the children. Okay, that and then I will be hosting the Detroit Natural Hair Expo coming up. That's going to be at Kobo, sponsored by the Main Choice. So that's gonna be huge, and I just got a lot coming up. But you can follow me at Bria Lorraine, BriaLarine, and it's Lorraine, not Lorraine, not I don't know I don't know what y'all saying, but
Lorraine,
not Lorraine, Bria Lorraine. Thank you.
Well, I don't really have any events coming up as of now, but I am working on a few, maybe like 3, some late summer and the end of the year, so stay tuned for that. You can just follow me on my Instagram at I am Charlie G. That's it. So,
spell it for the people.
IAMCHARLIEG.
All right, guys, and I'm Lisa.
I'm Duran.
And I'm Dante.
And you can follow me at LISACARIELLE, Lisa Cariel on Instagram. I spelled it right. You can also follow our podcast at Adulting the Podcast on Instagram, at Adulting the Pod on Twitter, and subscribe and share our podcast, which is available on Sound the Podcast. Thank you guys, and
The voice. You can always find me on Instagram at LOVE_RON. Love Ron. Peace and love, everyone.
Hi, my name is Dante Jones. You can follow me at Dante Jones, Dante.Jones.Detroit. That's Dante like the Inferno, Jones like the motherfuckers you need to keep up with in Detroit, like where you need to be at. Hey. This has been another episode of
Adulting the Podcast! Hey.
Hey.
Back it up.